Previously on EMCProductions.
And like, I'm a professional musician, and I still don't know what to do for some of this. So how is little Susie 7th grader gonna figure out what to do? So some general snare drumming tips. First of all, you want your drum to sound as good as you possibly can get it to sound. So for this audition, you don't want too much snare resonance or wetness. So what I like to do is put like either, a little ID card or credit card or something on the drum. I'm actually going to use my whole wallet to get a nice articulate sound so it's easy to hear all the rhythms I'm playing. And also my wallet has a lot of $100 bills in it, so that gives it some extra weight to really make it articulate. And also you want to make sure your drum heads are in tune, and also your snares aren't super loose, alright? You want it to be nice and tight down there on the bottom. And I highly recommend bringing your own drum from your school, unless your school's drum is terrible. But yeah, while you're at your school, you can tune it, make it sound good, and plus you're used to practicing on that one. So yeah, bring your own drum. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the rudiments here, and these are actually different than when I did them in middle school. They're a little bit easier, which thank goodness. Thank you for the change, South Jersey Honors Band. So category A, which only has one thing in it, which is the multiple bounce closed buzzed long roll. So for this, I would normally never play all the way out on the, I'm all the way on the bearing edge. I lift it up there. Like when you're playing on the edge of the drum, you usually want to be like about here, maybe like 1.5 inches away from the bearing edge. But this is a little different. Similar to the triangle, me playing on parts where I never play, I'm going to do the same with the snare drum, because playing all the way out here on the bearing edge, that's really, really quiet. Alright, it's good to start and end there for just this one specific rudiment. And also, I like to start this with my sticks already on the drum head. That's because when you get into audition, you're going to get a little bit of the shakes, probably, unless you got nerves of steel, which I totally do. But even if you do have nerves of steel, start with your sticks on the head, because it's more relaxed. And also, I forgot to mention this earlier, just like the bass drum, you don't want to play exactly in the middle of the drum head, the nodal point, because that's actually a little bit quieter than playing slightly off center. That's the middle. That's not the middle. You can't really tell because of my super big buff wallet blocking all the sound. So without it, this is the middle. This is slightly off center. See, we got a lot more resonance. Okay, let's move on to category B, which has 4 different rudiments in it. And let's look at the text below. Category B rudiments are to be played as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible. Really? You're gonna say that? Okay, I highly, highly disagree with that statement because, little 7th graders, including myself when I was in 7th grade, probably saw that and were like, yes! I get to play as fast as I can! When you're doing buzz roll rudiments, they don't sound good as fast as you can possibly do a buzz roll. Here's my fastest buzz roll. Doesn't sound that good. You want the hand motion to be nice and even so that your buzz sounds like a continuous note. Which for me, that's about this fast. So don't listen to the page, play them at a comfortable speed. We're going for quality here, not as fast as possible. Okay, I'm looking at the music here for 5-stroke roll. It says to alternate each of them. It says. So if I was playing this in real life, and I see, okay, I gotta play a bunch of 5-stroke rolls in a row, I would not alternate them. right? You want to be as consistent as possible, right? That's the theme of an audition, is be consistent. So, I would probably play them all off of my right hand. I don't think they can penalize you for that. Maybe they can. I don't know. I feel like I'm telling you guys to cheat here, but like, this is actually legit information, like for real life. Like, why is the audition harder than real life? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I mean, you have the audition proctor watching you. It's usually not someone that gives a crap at all, but alright. Let's just alternate them, just to be safe. We're gonna try to be as consistent as we can while still alternating, because that's still good practice, right? You want to be able to alternate stuff. Even though if you did this in real life, you wouldn't alternate it. Okay, now we're moving on to Category C. Let's read the fine print here. Category C and D Rudiments are to be played as followed. Slowly at forte, accelerando to fast at pianissimo, then retard to forte. This actually sounds kind of confusing. The way that sounds like it wants me to do it is start loud, then get softer while getting faster, and then get louder while getting slower. I don't think that's right. I didn't do that when I auditioned, and I got first chair in 8th grade.
He was #1!
But then again, they probably changed it since then. Anyways, the way that I have always done rudiments is you'll start at forte, stay at forte while getting as fast as you can, then when you get as fast as you can, then decrescendo. Stay at the same speed, recrescendo, now you're back to forte, then slow back down. I think that's like the stock way to do rudiments. That's the way I've always done them. This wording is just confusing. So, I don't know. I don't know what they want you to do. But I'm like 78% sure, which is a solid C, which is average. I think I'm right with stay at forte while getting fast. Then when you get as fast as possible, then go off the edge, come back, same tempo, then slow down. So that's why I'm going to do it. That's the way I think you should do it. I think that's the best way to practice your rudiments. I think. 78%. Okay, now you get the choice of flam accent or Swiss Army triplet. Swiss Army triplets are easier than flam accents because it's only 2 notes in a row. Right, the right hand is from left. Where the flam accent is 3 notes. So, according to math, 2 is less than 3. But according to drumming, 2 is easier than 3. However, the Swiss Army triplet is more difficult to play consistently. You have your 2 notes with the same hand right in a row. One is accent and one is not accent. it's very difficult to get that second note at the same volume as the third note because it's coming off of an accent. Whereas the flam accent, you have space between your accent and the re-attacks. Because the right hand is now the first, and then rest for the second, and then the third. So I recommend doing the flam accent because of the consistency you can get between your accent and your non-accents. Category D, all drags are to be played closed. And also that same thing at the very bottom that we did for category C. So a closed drag is a buzz, whereas an open is just two notes. But this is kind of confusing because if you look at it, it has two notes before the drag and also has the sticking written, which is two notes. And pretty much every time I see one of these, I will play, you guessed it, two notes. But that's not what they're asking for, so I don't think we should do that, but I don't know, maybe we should, because it has it written as two notes with two notes as the sticking. I feel like if they wanted it to not be two notes, they wouldn't have written the sticking under the grace notes. But I'm like 91% sure that they should be buzzes, which that's a solid A-. Alright, that's the most sure I've been in my unsureness in this video. Okay, so now we're moving on to the snare drum solos. There's two of them. I actually really like the first one. I think it's very appropriate for middle school. Excellent choice, South Jersey. One thing you do want to keep in mind, there's quite a lot of dynamic changes. You want to make sure that each dynamic is consistent with the last time you played that dynamic. So the softest one we have is piano. You'll probably want to make that very soft. And then we also have mezzo forte. Put that in the middle. And there's forte in there, a little bit louder than that, and then fortissimo, obviously the last one. So there's four dynamics. Always play at the same dynamic that you did the last time you played that dynamic. That was kind of confusing, but I think you understand what I said. Okay, then we have our other solo, which this one only has 2 dynamics in it, mezzo forte and fortissimo. I would say play mezzo forte a little bit softer than you would think, just to get that dynamic difference. And this one's in 5/8. In 5/8, you want to do a little bit of pulsing so that they know if it's 2 plus 3 eighth notes or 3 plus 2 eighth notes. And the way you know that is by looking at the measure. So we can see how it's divided up at the beginning. We got a 2 plus 3, because there's 2 notes together, then 3 notes together. So I would play that with slight accents on beat 1 and 3, like this. And I would also do that sticking too, like dominant hand on the accents, non-dominant hand on the non-accents. So the quarter note equals 132. The quarter note equals 132. For all of you people that don't read music, which I'm pretty sure most people watching this read music, because I don't think you would have made it this far, but just in case you don't know, a quarter note gets 2 eighth notes, you know, because like math or something. If there's 5 eighth notes, which is 5/8 time signatures, that means an even number of quarter notes can't fit in every measure. There's going to be 2.5 of them. So if you have your metronome on quarter notes, every other bar is going to be offset, and that's probably going to be confusing. So you're going to want to put the eighth note on. According to math, is 264 beats per minute is the eighth note. So that's how you're going to want to practice this. I don't remember how I don't even remember if I had to do this. I don't think I had to do this one when I was in middle school. I feel like if I was in middle school, I might not have figured that out. So thanks for watching my video. Hopefully you found this helpful, especially if you're looking for information on how to do your audition. Even if you're not auditioning for New Jersey honors bands, I think a lot of this information will probably come in helpful to you for other techniques that you might be needing. And I actually had a lot of fun playing through this stuff. It was actually kind of refreshing being able to go back and realize why a lot of this stuff was so confusing to me when I tried to audition on it in middle school. And it's still a little bit confusing to me as a almost 30-year-old. I'm not 30 yet, almost. But as an almost 30-year-old professional musician with 2 music degrees, and it's still confusing, yeah, that's going to be confusing for poor little Johnny trying to do this stuff. So if you'd like me to play through your audition packet, you can go ahead and send that over to my email, emcdrums@gmail.com, and maybe I'll make another video doing another packet, because like I said, it was kind of fun doing this, so I'm not opposed to doing another one. And make sure you subscribe to my channel, EMCProductions, and click that Liberty bell so you get notified immediately when I post a new video, and consider buying a custom t-shirt. I'll leave the link for that in the description, and have a good morning.